Kris, what do you make of the starts that your team's had in the first period? You guys have been outscored 7-0 in the last 3 games, and I guess more importantly, what do you feel you guys have to do tomorrow to turn the tide in that area?
3 of those 4 games, penalties. Last game wasn't an issue, but a lot of that outscoring is from their power play. So I think it's important for us, one, not giving them those opportunities on the power play, but also just taking away our flow and our attack if we are in the box. And I think that's the most important thing. And, the last game I thought we started off very well. And as soon as that first goal went in, made a mistake, they scored on it, and then set us back a little bit. So I think we were prepared to play. I thought we came out well. But, I think the most important thing is staying on the penalty box.
Right side, front row.
Kris, are you prepared to name a starter today?
I am not.
Just wanted to ask about Evander Kane. Obviously, he has lots of elements that this team could use in a series like this. He's been up and down the lineup here. What have you seen from him? What do you need from him?
The physicality has always been there. I think that's been part of it. You see him getting in the forecheck and making some big hits. That's important. Penalties is one. Like our team, just need to take fewer penalties. And, when he gets an opportunity, he can be quiet for a while, but gets an opportunity, he's dangerous to score. So that's an element that Evander's has always brought. And, it's a tight checking game. We're not going to have many chances. So when we do, having a guy like him in the lineup, the ability to score is important. So, like some offensive contributions, but ultimately it's just playing a sound game, 200-foot game like the rest of our team.
Left side, front row.
Kris, you were in the same situation last year. I know the venue is a little different and the manner you got here is different, but I just want to ask you, what can you learn from that situation last year that you were able to win Game 6 and, and your ability to kind of bounce back after disappointing efforts?
I think our guys are resilient. That's been a term that's been used to describe these guys for a long period of time. Last year, this year, how many elimination games that we had. Just for some reason, when their backs are up against the wall and they've hit rock bottom or they're facing elimination, and that goes back to pretty much my first day with the organization. They were near the bottom of the standings and couldn't get much worse and didn't look like they were going to make playoffs. And of course they respond and they play extremely well, win a ton of games. Last year in the playoffs, numerous elimination games, whether against Florida, Vancouver, again, backs against the wall, they play their best and they don't, they panic. Like the mood out there today on the ice was fantastic. They're embracing the challenge. They love challenges. So we'll, being down, facing elimination is not an ideal situation, but for this group, it's almost like that's what they want to be in.
Left side, third row.
Kris, you and the players always say that you have 2 very good goaltending options, 2 guys that you trust. So what are the factors that you consider when you're making this very difficult decision?
Just getting everybody's impact, input. Whether that's Stan Bowman's thoughts, or Paul Coffey, or Dustin Schwartz, or Glenn Gulletson, Mark Stewart, and our players. Knowing who they feel is going and who they feel confident at that time. And then, there's also the workload and, numerous things that we can think about. Obviously, February playing 3 and 4 is a little bit different than playing an elimination game. But I think it's just ultimately who do we feel is in the best position to win us a game. And that's pretty much how the games have gone previously and who's looking really good at that moment, and then we make our decision.
Take a few more. Left side, fourth row.
Kris, what have you learned? You've obviously known Connor for a long time, but what have you seen in him develop as a leader in terms of these moments and what he brings to the group?
Well, I think he's always been a leader. Surprisingly, when I was first met him when he was 15 years old, he was underage in the Ontario Hockey League, and he was a leader there. Like, the respect the players had for him, and not that he was the most vocal guy, but I think it was his work ethic, attention to detail, how focused he was at his game and being the best player possibly. That I was surprised at how much respect and that they had for him, and there's no, there could have been some jealousy or whatever, but and I think it's just because he worked so hard at his game, but probably more importantly is how much he acknowledges the other players' contributions, and as he's got older, when junior and same here, I'm assuming the NHL, you get more comfortable, you become a leader because you've been with the team longer and you build that rapport with all the players. So I just think overall, I think the most important factor is just that he's got so much respect from the players, and that's just because of who he is, like how he treats his approach to the game and his acknowledgement of the players, his teammates' contributions.
Two more, right side, third row.
You talk about team and you talk about Connor acknowledging other players on the team, but does the best player in the world have any extra pressure to get this back to Edmonton and win a Stanley Cup when we're talking about Connor, when you're the best player
I
in the
think
world?
Connor's just focused on playing his best. I think it's whether it's a Stanley Cup elimination game or a mid-season afternoon, whatever it is, he's always focused on bringing his best, and I think that's what's propelled him to have the career that he has, and been able to just separate himself from most players is his drive. And so I don't think it's any different than if it's a Stanley Cup game or a mid-season game. His goal is always to be the best player on the ice. He doesn't always want to be acknowledged to be the best player, but I think it drives him that he wants to be the best player. So I think he'll be driven to be the best player this next game.
Last one, left side, second row.
Two quick ones. Nugent Hopkins, what's his status for Game 6?
We believe he'll be able to play.
Okay. And then the fact that Stu was pulled twice in this building in the series, how much does that weigh into your decision for goaltending?
Yeah, it's some consideration, but I think also of how he's responded and how he's played in difficult situations, especially later half of the season. And maybe you got pulled, but I don't put any of that blame on him. So I think Stu, like our team, is very resilient. They play their best when their backs are against the wall, and we need great performances from them. No different than whether it's Stu or Pix. I think they've been able to come up big at most important times.